ReMax and Advanced Realtors. Content and sponsorship is provided by Eric McKenna, and the show is brought to you by CallEric.com.
Hey, Beaver County, how are you? This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna with ReMax Advanced, and you are listening to, indeed, your personal realtor here every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon on 1230 and 1460 Beaver County Radio. Great to be with you. We had the Facebook Live feed up and going. I can see people are joining already. Thank you for that. That's been a huge addition to our show. And you, our listening audience, have been nothing short of amazing. As a matter of fact, the way to contact us and participate in this show is, as always, the two most famous numbers in Beaver County. That is correct. They are 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. As always, I'm joined here with my very good friend, Sir Frank Sparks, behind the big board, making sure all the buttons are pressed and all that kind of stuff that I just don't want to do.
Why not?
You know, I mean, that's because you're so good at it. You know what I mean?
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Friends, we are on show number 19.
Holy
Today is show number 19. It cannot happen without all of you wonderful people. As always, we are wired for sound and wired for video. And what that means is, besides our Facebook Live crowd, I also videotape our shows with multiple camera feeds, and then we edit that and put it on my website, which is calleric.com. And also my usual places on the web. We do some Instagram, and we also do YouTube and Vimeo and some other places too. So if you can't find us, you're not looking very hard. But again, this show is sponsored by my website, calleric.com. It's a great opportunity. If you're interested in what I do and my services as a realtor, it's a great opportunity to go and look about how I work, how I treat my customers, the type of relationships I build with my customers, the expectations I have of my clients, and just in general how I use internet marketing with social media and so forth to provide additional services to you, all at my cost, I might add, in an effort to market your home effectively and give us the edge. And that's exactly what we look to do in real estate, is give our clients the edge. Every good realtor ends up wanting to do that. Whew. Friends, I will let you know outside on the personal level here, my whole family has been going through, I think it's called the norovirus, Frank. Is that what it is?
Something like it.
My poor wife had been sick. She, as you know, as you've been listening to the show, you know, she flies for American Airlines, and she had to come home. And now my stepdaughter, Saffron, my youngest stepdaughter, she's got it. And I just kind of scooted out of the house today, so I didn't get it. So I'm feeling generally okay. Not quite myself, so I just told Frank if I disappear, Frank's going to talk sports for the rest of the show. But I think we're going to make it here today. But friends, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, both on Facebook Live and listening here on Beaver County Radio. As always, it's wonderful to have you. Over the course of this past week, one of the ways our listeners has been communicating with me has been email. And the way to reach me is sold@calleric.com. Again, that's sold@calleric.com. We have a total of 20 emails from last week, which is still phenomenal to me. Very good questions. And the various topics we've been working with the past couple of weeks, we've been interacting with our audience, have been, number one, we're going to talk about it again this week because it even got a little weirder, Frank, if you can believe that or not, in regards to real estate reality television. We got your opinions on that as well. From time to time, I've had guests in here. The most prevalent guest has been our good friend Matt Pia from Division 9 Inspection. Matt is a home inspector. He works with both buying clients and selling clients. Matt's been how would I say this? He's been a great source of information for not only myself and my clients, but for our listening audience. And Matt will be back on this show, not next Saturday, but the following Saturday. So Matt will be returning to answer additional questions. We had a very enlightening discussion last time he was here on one of the worst subjects imaginable for a realtor and a homeowner, which is mold. And Matt was not satisfied exactly with the amount of content. We ran out of time, so we're going to touch on that when he comes back in a couple of weeks. But I would be remiss if I did not reach out to my Facebook audience. I got Denise and Joseph and James, Stephen. Thanks so much for coming in. Just amazing. Amazing. Thank you for all the shares as well. The Facebook Live audience has grown considerably from week to week. You can also interact on there. I'll do my best to catch questions as we go. Again, we are live here at Beaver County Radio, WBVP 1230 and WMBA 1460. You may, again, I'll repeat the numbers. You may participate in this show live. Frank would love for you to call in, wouldn't you, Frank?
Yeah, they can. Now I'm back. Right away.
What you haven't seen here is Frank's been going back and forth. He's been busy beyond belief this morning. The studio has been crazy. I got here early between the Sports Slam and then the lead lap and the amount of visitors back and forth. It's just been a whirlwind. So Frank has to coordinate all of that while still keeping all of the shows live and in sync and everything else.
So let me ask you
this.
this.
You did a great job, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You did a great job.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
So you were here during the lead lap.
Yes, I was.
You got any interest in racing? Going to see some dirt track racing?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but he had today a Hall of Famer in.
Correct.
Kevin Bolin.
Yes.
With himself was here, and listening to Kevin for the past 35 minutes was just enlightening. And Kevin, at the end of the show, said that he was doing all he could to gather additional local interest in racing, and I was not mic'd, or else I would have just chimed right in there like me. So I want you to involve me,
all right,
so I can expose myself to more local racing.
Sounds like you and I are going to have a date on a Saturday night. We'll come down your way. We'll go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway.
Okay,
and if you're willing to go to Sharon on a Saturday night,
I certainly am.
We'll get Kevin to take you down in the pits and
check
out the car. And
I'd love that.
So. And
the whole sponsorship thing too. It's just I'm when someone says sponsorship and it's good media, my brain starts clicking there. So.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, great guy.
I grew up with his brother, who is the crew chief, Keith.
Right.
His sister Jan, who is an Olympic athlete, also. Believe it or not, she was in bicycling, and I went to school with her. She graduated the same year. She's the same age as you and I are.
Wow.
So they have two athletes in the family.
Okay.
And he's a great guy. Kevin has him and his dad, Don. Don's been around. A lot of people locally here in Beaver County know Don Boland. They were very instrumental in helping me get the lead lap off the ground and get this racing program started. So they've been of great help.
Wow.
And you know what? Any of your listeners that's interested in racing that didn't get to hear the show, Kevin has said all you got to do, and I'll give the phone number.
Yes.
Call 724-846-4100.
Repeat that.
724-846-4100. That is the station's business line. You call Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. You get a hold of Sheila Dambaugh, who is our receptionist, and she is also integral in this part of everything. Even though she's not an on-air personality, she still helps us a lot.
Right.
And she has a lot to do with racing. Her family's huge into racing also. In fact, her daughter-in-law, and her husband, her soon-to-be daughter-in-law, and her husband are demolition derby drivers.
Oh, really?
Yes. But if you get a hold of her at that number, 724-846-4100, she'll get a hold of me. I'll get a hold of Kevin, and we can get you some free tickets to go see a race wherever Kevin's racing at.
Free tickets.
Free tickets. So, all you got to do is get there. And, Eric, you have the criteria of being a race fan, number one.
I know. And
you like to eat, and you like to drink beer.
So, yeah, as my gut says, I definitely like to eat. And I've been known to drink a little beer.
That's
here and there.
That's great tailgating before a race.
No, I'm definitely interested.
So,
like I said, I had a friend pique my interest in racing about 15 years ago. In NASCAR primarily, and I just it was never taken to the next level with me because the venue wasn't there to do that.
Well, if you liked NASCAR, I guarantee you will like dirt racing and local racing because these guys aren't out there with these big sponsors doing it. They're doing this out of their own pockets and they're doing it for the love of racing.
Right.
And you go to NASCAR race, you see one race.
Correct.
You go to these, you see
multiples.
Maybe 4 or 5 different series running.
That's very cool.
And then they run heat races.
That's very cool.
So you see 4 or 5 heat races out of each division, and then you see the main. They have an A main and a B main. So when you go to a racetrack at night, a local track, you don't just see one big race like NASCAR. You see a lot of racing.
Right.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It's a blast.
And
well,
mark me down, my friend, because I'm in.
All right. We'll make sure we get you some tickets.
Again, I want to reach out on Facebook Live, and I want to mention Kim and Guy and Carol and Dana. Thank you so much for checking in here. The Facebook Live, Frank, it's unbelievable. I mean, Frank over here has been one of the biggest proponents of Facebook Live. When I first mentioned doing it, I was a little hesitant, and Frank said, "No, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
We are going to do it, and we're going to do it raw until we figure it out." But it's been great, and we've been able to. Hey, Jeff, we've been able to reach even a broader audience, which is rewarding to me.
And I think we've talked with I've talked with station manager Mark Peterson, and I think we're going to try and do that. Hopefully we do. I'd like to do it on Saturday mornings, but hopefully we're going to do that throughout the entire radio station because social media is endless, and that's
it is. And the quality. I will tell you, friends. The quality of the Sports Slam, the content there is every bit as good as what you're finding on the Pittsburgh stations and so forth. And I am telling my audience this: if you've not listened to this show, it needs to be brought. And I think the way that you proliferate it and you bring content to people that are out of the normal listening area is you engage them. And what better way to do it outside of Facebook?
Right.
So, and being that it's live, and then what I do with my live feed is I will then save it, so it's now an archive. Mm-hmm. And again, it's not going to be as polished as the actual video I put up later.
Right.
But last week, I will apologize to everybody on Facebook Live.
No, you were late last week.
Well, I was late to the game there, but they hung in there with me. But it sounded like, and I didn't know this till the show was after.
Uh-huh.
It sounded like we were underwater.
Really?
It did. It was, yes. And I think here's the reason why. Last week, I will admit that I forgot my tripod.
Okay.
And I said, oh my, I set this phone up on my big Oakland A's tumbler, beer stein.
Right.
And I had water in there, and I think that the microphone made the water reverberate in there. It was probably a science experiment of some type.
Yeah.
But anyways, friends, we are here to talk real estate, I assure you. Again, thanks for your patience with me today. The whole McKenna family is a little under the weather. But right off the bat, before we get into a carry-on of what we've been talking about, especially last week, which we went through the starting of a checklist for listing your home.
Right.
Ideas about that you want to consider before you put your house up for sale. And, I think it's very worthy content. We just have to make sure we engage you good folks with it, because we don't want to come off as if we're reading a checklist. Although we might be. So I want to encourage any of our listeners who have not chimed in yet or on Facebook Live. Hey, Mark! Oh my goodness, Mark Peterson's live with us on Facebook.
Sweet.
Instead of being here.
Sweet.
I had something.
He likes to come see you, so I'll be
shocked.
Well,
I had
if he doesn't
something
make
to
an
give him
appearance
today, and he's not here. If you're hearing this, get down to the station. I brought something for him. Okay. Again, I want to reiterate, because this has been an interesting topic, and the emails have proven it. I am searching still for what I declare to be the de facto standard of real estate reality TV shows, where I can get real content, whether it's people considering new homes, renovations, renovating your old home, deciding on whether it's a renovation or whether you're going to purchase new. I need shows that do not have drama. I am not a drama kind of guy. Or, as Frank said, Eric is not a drama queen. Usually.
You should have gave me forewarning you were going to say that. And I could have played a little snippet on my drama queen.
No. That's why I didn't want to give you any notice. But the point is, we're looking for high-quality real estate radio shows. The consensus is This Old House is the de facto standard for pure information that's good information. Dave Wade, what's up, my friend? Facebook Live is filling up so happy.
There's a new one I saw, and I can't remember the name of it now, but here's another new one that's coming. I don't know if it's out already.
All right.
It's called Masters of Flip.
Yeah, and we got 2 emails on that this week. That's not out yet quite, correct?
Right.
Okay.
But the commercials are out there for it. I saw it on TV, and I said to my wife, I got to remember that one so I can tell Eric on Saturday.
Masters of Flip.
It's going to be on the HGTV network.
Okay. And while we're on the subject of, yes, David on Facebook Live, the A's hat is back, of course. I want to talk a little bit about flips here. I do have a couple investors that I work with. It's not the bulk of my business, and these two investors are just salt of the earth, great people, and they really understand. They get it. They've done enough flips. They did a lot of flips before they ever connected with me. And I just want to let our listening base know that what you see on television in regards to flipping homes and what you hear on radio advertisements of gurus trying to teach you how to flip homes, it's not that easy. Let me repeat myself. Not only is it not that easy, it's also financially perilous. This does not mean that I would want to talk anyone out of getting into it. If you're hell-bent on doing it and you believe this is the way you want to go and you've researched it and you've partnered up with maybe an experienced flipper, you've got an agent who proclaims that they know everything about flipping. Not me, but if you have an agent that proclaims they know it all, or you just have that gut feeling that this is for you, I'm not here to talk you out of it. I am here to caution you. Again, I am here to caution you.
Okay.
There are so many ins and outs and nooks and crannies with older homes that you may find at great prices, that there are hidden costs to you as the flipper in every turn. Structural, electrical, plumbing, roofing, flooring, and that's just getting started. So whatever you do, friends, if you want to flip houses, go beyond the television. Go meet with an expert. Try to model what someone else has done if they'll let you. Find an agent that you are confident is wonderful at advising people of flipping homes. And I'll leave you on, before we go to break, I'll leave you on this one last tip. I talk every week about how little our inventory is. We don't have enough houses. What does that mean? Every potential house out there that is a good quality, qualified flip, you've got a lot of competition and from people who know what they're doing. So keep that in mind. Friends, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor here. I am sitting in the Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory studio at WBVP and WMBA. This is Your Personal Realtor, Eric McKenna, and we will be right back.
Hi friends, this is Howard Hanna agent Eric McKenna, host of Talking Real Estate, my weekly radio show right here on WBVP and WMBA. I really hope you're enjoying today's show. Friends, do you know that I can be your personal agent? That's right. I'm currently accepting new clients and I'd be honored to be your personal agent. If you're ready to buy or sell your home, let's get together and put my marketing to work for you, and I promise to be there every step of the way. If you like my show, hire me as your personal agent. Call or text me at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. You can also email me at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. And of course, Eric is with a C. You can visit my website at, you guessed it, calleric.com. I just love it when my listeners become clients. So friends, let me personally work for you.
Okay, friends, we're back. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna with ReMax Advanced Realtors. My office is located in Sewickley, Pennsylvania. However, I travel. Yes, indeed, I do. I work Butler, Allegheny, Washington, and, of course, the great Beaver County. I would love to personally help you with your real estate needs, whether you're buying or selling or doing both. You can reach me directly a couple ways. You can just simply email me at sold@calleric.com. You can just visit my website. There's plenty of ways to reach me there at calleric.com. Yeah, see a theme there, Frank? And you can always, the easiest way to reach me is just call or text me on my direct line. It's 412-613-4466. Again, it's 412-613-4466. I use a lot of social media. I have a game plan to market homes. It's a little bit different than most realtors. I purchase advertisements for your home on social media and enable us to acquire enough eyeballs, human eyeballs, of course, that are looking at properties and get enough attention. I do this all at my own expense. My sellers love it. It's yielded great results. If you're looking to list your home, I'd like to encourage you to contact me. Doesn't cost a thing to have a conversation and learn all about the way I do business, but I am confident after we sit down and speak for a while, there's a high probability that you may indeed want to do business with me, and I would love to meet you and do business with you. And again, this is Eric McKenna, your personal realtor with ReMax Advance. You can contact me directly, 412-613-4466. Call or text me today, and let's start working together.
All right, about 3 minutes before the top of the hour for news. All right, so Brad texted me. You remember Brad?
I sure do.
Okay, Brad Robinson. He texted me and said that he's not sure if the show's still on, but a show with good content was Homes on Homes.
Homes on Homes. And this is amazing because Jeff Helbling, who is on our live feed, a very good childhood friend of mine. Jeff,
okay.
Great guy. I could tell you about this guy for hours, how wonderful he is. Jeff just sent me a message here on Facebook Live stating that the show Homes Makes It Right.
That's probably similar.
Yeah, same thing. Is very informative. Have I heard of it? No, but I'm going to. And all the emails I got did not state that one. Homes Makes It Right.
Here's another one. Just announced CNBC is going to have a new house flipping show called The Deed.
The Deed.
Well,
they need to do something because I think Fox Business just trumped them. And I didn't use Trump as nothing like that.
Yeah.
They just beat them out in ratings. So maybe they're starving for some new programming. But it is called The Deed.
Yep.
The Deed.
Yep. I got a list of new shows that are coming out on HGTV that are house flipping shows, and we can go over that after the break.
Yeah, let's do that after the break.
Right,
absolutely.
just come up. One of them is called Listed Sisters.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yes. So we'll check it out.
All right. Wait, before we before we go to break, I do want to mention last week we did get into some very good content, and it was available to all of you at ReMax.com. I want to mention our great website at ReMax, and it's if you go there and you search for advice, there's going to be about a 7-page PDF document there, just giving you all kinds of information that you need to think about, or you should think about before you list your home. I, as your realtor, would go through these one by one with you. That's part of what we do. But we're going to resume talking about this list here shortly. Again, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Realtor Eric McKenna with ReMax Advanced.
Come on, let's do it.
I'm sitting here at the Lachina Drapery and Blinds Factory Studio here at WBVP and WMBA, which comprises Beaver County Radio. And right now,
you're listening.
You're listening to 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
Almost.
And it is now time for Town Hall News.
Yeah, you're getting there. We're going to get it.
I'm trying, friends.
All right. I'm trying. You're close. 1230 WBVP, Beaver Falls in Chippewa Township, 1460 WMBA, Ambridge. Let's go to Hopewell this hour.
Okay.
Beaver County Radio.
And it's time for Town Hall News.
There you go.
Beaver County stations for news, sports, information, and entertainment. 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls and 1460 WMBA Ambridge.
And, of course, that was the lead-in for my show, which is always the incomparable Eric Clapton playing what I consider to be his finest tune, Forever Man. And Frank disagrees, but that's okay. Guess what? Because it's my show.
Not an Eric Clapton fan, buddy.
So what are you scheming on over there? What's the deal with you?
I said I'm not an Eric Clapton fan, buddy.
No.
Kiss? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well,
you want me to? Yeah. So you're over here trying to bust on me, but yet you don't want to tell everybody that it was your birthday last Sunday.
No.
And you're trying to rip on me.
Forever Young is brought to you in
Hey,
part
listen to
by
that. Well, just coming on the air for no
They
reason.
just interrupt my show like they don't care. No one cares.
And the worst
Frank.
part
No one
was
cares.
there's no buttons on to be doing that.
That's the ghosts. I hear there's ghosts on that side.
Yeah.
The ghosts of the big board.
I call it the Great Gazoo. Remember the Flintstones?
Yeah, the Great Gazoo.
lives under the board. Calls us dum-dums.
That'd be accurate.
51 years old. Huh?
Oh, why'd you have to bring that up?
Well, you know what? You were trying to rip on me, so I was skirting it right back at you.
Yeah, I'm 51 years young. If I listen to myself. If I listen to my kids, I'm really old.
You're only as old as you feel, brother.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a great birthday this week.
Did you go out or anything?
No, my wife was flying, and then she calls me and says she's coming home because she's violently ill.
I seen you had some girly drinks.
Yeah. Oh, that was her birthday present to me. Was a few chocolate martinis. Yes, and I'm getting harassed for that too. Don't understand that. They're very good. Although I've had 3 of them made by 3 different places, and they're all different. Why is that? Why?
That's bartender's interpretation of it.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah, back at the ranch here. This has just been a very eclectic show start.
All right, so you want to go over to we're talking the shows.
Yeah, so let's do this. Before we get into the listing information, which I find is very informative, let's look at the new real estate reality TV shows coming up.
You're going to get a kick out of one of these.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right, first one. This is HGTV's 6 new shows they're having this year.
HGTV only.
Listed Sisters.
I don't even want to go there.
They look like they could be not very pleasant people if you.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good-looking girls, but they just look like I wouldn't want to get in their way.
Yeah, they're a little feisty. Okay.
Yes. All right.
All right. What else?
All right.
Oh, come on.
Good Bones.
Okay, that's a phrase that came out of reality television. This house has good bones.
Yeah. Mother-daughter home renovation and flipping duo Karen and Mina buy rundown houses in the Indianapolis area.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And the first one, the other ones, because we were predisposed, Elena and Lex LeBlanc are real estate and home design duo in Nashville. So that one's in Nashville. This one's in Indy. And then Masters of Flip.
You mentioned that earlier.
Okay. And that's a husband and wife team. Courtney and Dave Wilson fixing up outdated houses. That's also in the Nashville area. Then we have number 4 is going to be Vintage Flip, which is out of Orange County, California. Jesse and Tina Rodriguez are passionate about flipping vintage homes.
So I'm guessing Victorian style and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That'll be cool.
And then we have number 5, the Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade Project.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Even actress Gabrielle Union and Miami Heat player Dwayne Wade will be flipping houses for HGTV this year.
I like Dwayne Wade.
In suburban Florida.
Just stick to basketball.
Yeah. All right. And then number 6 is Hometown. You may remember Ben and Aaron told them what it's like to film a pilot for HGTV, whatever. That's okay. Hometown, it's called. And that's going to be in Mississippi, Laurel, Mississippi. They have, it looks like they flip houses and cottages in Laurel, Mississippi.
That might be a good one.
Mm-hmm. What happened? Let's see. They're going to be bringing back Rehab Addict with Nicole Curtis.
Okay.
And I don't know what that one is. Who do they? I don't know who that one is. So that's going to be the list on HGTV. So I don't know who that. The other one, it don't even say a show name. It just says "Remember Miss Me," who designs shows on. No, that's it.
Okay, well, it's obvious. It's obviously apparent to me that there must be a market for the amount of new real estate reality shows that continue to hit the market. And obviously most of them die and fade away. However, there must be a good market there. The ratings or the research is being done must prove that. So that bears well for our industry. I just, like I said, I can do without all the drama.
Yeah.
I'm looking for good content because I need to be aware of them, as I mentioned to you prior, because it isn't usually with my listing clients, but it's very prevalent with my buyer clients that I hear these catchphrases. And we always joke about this one, and I'll repeat it again this week because I hear it all the time. And that is I walk in with a buyer to a house, and it's typically the girlfriend or wife or partner, female partner, and I hear the following, and I just cringe. I hear, "This is a nice space." If I hear that one more time, I think I might. I don't know what I'll do, but it's not going to be good. Yeah, and I don't even know what show that comes from per se, but I know it's definitely a reality TV show. So, since my producer has now jumped on the bat hotline, whatever they call it, the bat line, I'm going to what I'm going to do right now is just talk briefly, very briefly, and just skim over what we did discuss last week as an intro to information on whether or not you're ready to list. And one of the things we recommended last week are just a plethora of things that if you're getting ready to list your house, talk it over with your realtor, but just start doing some homework on your own. One of them is find out the year your house was built. Okay, most of us don't know that off the top of our head.
1925.
Okay, well, there you go. Frank is always the exception to the rule. Do your lights flicker or your breakers or fuses blow, Frank? Yes.
No.
Okay, not anymore, right? If you have a fuse box or do you have an electrical panel? I'm guessing if you have a fuse box, that's something you definitely want to get addressed. No question about it. Do you have wire and tube or do you have old aluminum wiring? Definitely needs to be addressed. What condition is your plumbing in? That's pretty broad, right? I mean, but again, if you're having slow leaks in your, whether it's coming out of your shower or your bathtub or it's coming from under one of the vanities, things you cannot ignore. These things have to be addressed before you list your home. If you have a water softener, when's the last time it was serviced? Not real prevalent all the time, but for those who have it, definitely want to make sure it's serviced. We talked a little bit about furnace filters last week, and I fessed up in my own ineptitude as my first-time home ownership. Back in 1996, I thought I was having a massive furnace attack, and it was going to go on the blitz, and all it was the most dirty furnace filter that the prior owner and myself had been using. So you may not have a bad furnace. You may just need your furnace filter checked, and that's something we should all do on a regular basis. The next one was the roof. We talked about that for a little bit and how imperative water being the number one enemy for any homeowner, whether it's coming in from the roof or seeping into the basement. Water is a huge issue, and so how recent is your roof? Have you done any repairs on it, or have you replaced it during your ownership? Good information to know. Windows, of course. How old are your windows? Do you even know? Did you replace them when you were there? All of them or partially? What brand did you use? Do you have your receipts? Are they in overall good condition? All good information to bring to your realtor when you're evaluating the cost of your house. Here's a big one. The foundation. What condition is your foundation in? Oftentimes, your realtor can use their own experience and take a look at bowed walls and water seepage and maybe recommend some contractors that do great remediation work if you need that. Just do not ignore your foundation. Please do not ignore your foundation. You could have everything else kicking and everything else wonderful in the house ready to go. I mean, really ready to go. But then you find out you have a foundation issue, and that kind of nullifies so much of the rest of your house for a potential buyer. So you want to make sure that the foundation is in great condition. Not in good condition, but great condition. And if it's not, there are ways to remediate that. Wall anchor services, sump pumps and trenches and so forth. Sounds costly. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. Don't panic. Speak with your realtor. Speak with me. Be glad to advise you on that. If you have a deck or patio, what kind of condition are they in, right? Because, I mean, let's face it, the most decks that are out there traditionally are made out of wood, hopefully womanized or treated. Womanized meaning you know how old that has to be. But a lot of the newer decks are made out of Plex, I think, and there's some other material that are artificial. Look great. They wear fantastic. I'm not a big fan of plastic decks, but that's just me. But if you have one and it's done right, it can last for a long, long, long time. So if you have that kind of deck, you're in great shape. Do you have any water problems? And again, that's a very encompassing statement there. But if you have water seepage at all, especially in the basement or coming through the windows or coming through the roof, 3 major hotspot areas, it needs to be addressed professionally. I can help you with that as your realtor, or any good realtor can certainly do that. You want to inquire. You want to get the professionals out there, good referrals, and get people in there to help you with those problems. And the last one on the first page here is a good one. We talked about it a little bit with Matt Pia with Division 9 Home Inspection a couple of weeks ago, and that was the issue of mold and mildew. Matt was great because when Matt explained mold and mildew, he left us with the impression that it is definitely serious and it's something that we need to take care of without question. But he didn't want anyone to panic either, okay? There are certain types of mold that are problems. They become airborne. They're problems to humans and to pets. And there's mold that is, not of the stage that it's a cause of concern to humans, but still should be remediated. And the cost for some of this stuff is not that bad. You really need to talk to your realtor, talk to myself. We're glad to refer you to people who will come in and give you an honest evaluation and not take your money unnecessarily. So that's what we covered in the first group of information on how to list your house. And it's, not how to list your house, but certainly things that as a homeowner you want to start thinking about. And those are the heavies. And what I mean by heavies, those are the big ones. And those are things that you want to get receipts for if you have work done prior. If you are obviously aware of some significant deficiencies and you're going to take care of it yourself, I still recommend you speak with someone like myself, your realtor, and get some good referrals so you don't get raked over the coals. Make sure the work is done right, number one. We're going to move along here, and we're going to think about just some things in regards to clutter and some talking points that you may want to discuss with your significant other as you prepare to list your home. And, of course, you can vet these things out with your realtor. We always have good ideas. We do. Realtors have good ideas. We've done this many times. When it comes to clutter and our suggestions for how your house is going to look when we list it, we do have good ideas. And it's always good to strongly consider the advice given to you by your realtor. So let's just burn through a couple of these real quick. We will not spend a huge amount of time, but there are things worth mentioning. Okay. Does each room of your house have a spacious feel? And I will tell you as a realtor, this is a big one. I like homes to accentuate every aspect of space if possible. I also like homes that are staged. And I mean by staged, I don't mean artificially all the time. I'm talking if you're still living in your home. I like the fact that you're living in your home. I think it's a positive. If, and I mean if, it's not cluttered, if your furniture is laid out in the most effective way to show off the spaciousness of your rooms and things like that. And I'd be glad to help all my clients with that. But it's very important that, you take the time and you really put some thought into it. What can I do to make my house still look lived in and still, quote unquote, staged with our own furniture? Or even if we're bringing furniture in to a vacant house sometimes, how can we lay this out where it looks great, looks cool, got a good vibe, has a nice flow, but at the same time, most importantly, it needs to be spacious. When a potential buyer is walking around, they want to feel comfortable. They want to feel they have enough space to walk around comfortably, discuss amongst themselves. They don't want to be, turning sideways to go between couches or an end table, things like that, especially when you don't have to. I mean, sometimes you have no choice if the room's small, But if the room is spacious and you just want to cram, unnecessary amounts of furniture in a room that doesn't really or can't really hold it, not a wise decision. So what are you doing to make your house feel spacious? Okay, here's an important one. Is your house clean from top to bottom? I'm probably going to guess, no, it's not. And that's okay, because all of us live in our house, including me. I understand that. But conversely, we're trying to sell your property here. So while your house is not going to remain clean from top to bottom all the time, especially if you have children, especially if you have pets and animals, and I will say, especially if you have husbands like me who probably are not the most cleanly or most orderly all the time. I feel for my wife, and she's got every right to lecture me on that at times. My point being, is your house clean from top to bottom when you're getting ready to, number one, let me, as your realtor, take the photos, shoot my video, and produce that video and photos in the MLS and also on social media. That's imperative. You've got to present that house the very best you can, and it's my job to do that and get it out there for as many eyeballs to see, so we can bring bodies in there, bring people coming to visit to find the right buyer. So certainly, without question, without any hesitation, if we're getting ready for photographs and video, that house needs to be spotless, or as spotless as you can make it. And I'm not a big one for desensitizing it or taking all the personal effects, and we'll talk about that down the line. I'm not an agent that believes that you have to completely sterilize your house. I don't believe that. So we'll talk about that at a later date. But, yeah. Next one is pre-pack all items that you do not need while selling your house. This is a great one. Now, it only works, my friends, if you have space to put these pre-packs. Now, one of the biggest selling items that I read about a couple of years ago, it wasn't even a real estate post, but it was actually a post talking about retail. And one of the biggest staple items that the big box retailers such as Target and Walmart and Kmart at that time, what they were selling was these huge plastic containers. Huge plastic containers. Because us as Americans, let's face it, we don't throw anything away. We should, but we don't. So my assumption is that most homeowners keep generally everything when it's time to sell their house and they're going through things. Buy enough of these storage containers. They're clean. They keep the animals out. Cardboard, stay away from it. It's just not the way to go. Garbage bags, not a fan of those either. Cheaper, but not a fan of them. They break and they tear, and animals, if they want to get in, they'll eat right through the garbage bag. So those plastic containers are great. So you pre-pack all the items you don't need, and you want to eliminate clutter by doing that. My biggest caveat is you've got to have a place to put it. Now, if you have an attic that's got a subfloor, even if it's a crawl space attic, great place to store there. You may have a couple buyers that'll look at that space, but that's okay. They look up in the space, it's crawl space, there's a subfloor, and they see a bunch of those containers there. Fantastic. Whether it's old clothes and old coats, old video games, kids' toys that you can't part with them, please. But if you can't, put them you put them in a container. Your Christmas decorations, people expect to see all of that. No problem at all. I mean, that's expected. So get yourself some plastic containers and pre-pack those items you don't need. Get them out of sight. Now, if you don't have space for that, even tucked away neatly in a garage, ask a fellow relative, ask a neighbor if you can borrow a space in their basement. Get them out of the house, especially if you have a smaller house. Definitely important to get those away. Under the same vein, it says pre-pack off-season clothing and items. It all talks about the same thing. And but again, I can't stress enough the ability to make your house spacious and to remove clutter. And it looks like I'm up against my second break here. Time is just flying. Very good content, though. Very good content. Friends, this is your personal realtor with me, Eric McKenna, realtor with ReMax Advanced Realty. I am in the Lachina Drapery and Blinds Factory Studio here at Beaver County Radio, WBVP and WMBA, and we will be right back.
Listen up, Beaver County. WBVP and WMBA has exciting news. We want to send you to the 2017 Pittsburgh International Auto Show at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. We're giving away 4 sets of 4 tickets on the air. All you have to do is listen to AM Beaver County around the 8 o'clock hour, Monday, February 6th through Thursday, February 9th. That's 4 days of winners. Don't miss out on your chance to win 4 free tickets to the 2017 Pittsburgh International Auto Show. Make sure to tune in Monday, February 6th through Thursday, February 9th during AM Beaver County for your chance to win.
Hello, friends. This is ReMax Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna with CallEric.com and host of Your Personal Realtor. Heard every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to noon on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA. I really hope you are enjoying today's show. Friends, did you know that I can be your personal realtor? That's right. If you're looking to list your home or buy a new home, call or text me today at 412-613-4466. That's 412-613-4466. Or send me an email at sold@calleric.com. That's sold@calleric.com. I just love it when listeners become clients. So why not contact me today and let me put my social media advertising to work for you. Together, we can reach your real estate goals. This is your personal realtor, Eric McKenna, with ReMax Advanced Realtors and CallEric.com.
Tune into the Coach's Corner every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. at Roberts Roadside Inn. The show is broadcast live from Roberts Sports Patio on Sharon Road in Bridgewater. Listen to the guest coaches as they size up their teams and their upcoming opponents. It's a great way for local fans to stay informed on our local teams. The Coach's Corner, Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. from Roberts Roadside Inn in Bridgewater on 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA Sports.
WBVP and WMBA invite you to tune in to Sounds of Faith. Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 as WBVP and WMBA present Sounds of Faith, a mix of the best sacred music of all time. Sounds of Faith is brought to you by Crawford Tire and Beaver, City Rescue Mission, Bushy's Electric, Life Beaver County, MRS Physical Therapy, Lutheran Services, and Roar Monument and Inspirational Gifts. Sounds of Faith, uplifting, relaxing, and inspiring radio. Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 on WBVP and WMBA.
WNBA.
Next time, can I sing?
Dude, whatever.
Can I sing the...
You know all them Facebook Live?
WNBA.
What's that remind you of? You're my age. What? And that's
WKRP
why,
in Cincinnati.
And that's why. That's exactly why I use that one.
I thought my singing voice was okay.
We have a bunch of old school IDs that I use all the
Hey,
time.
Mark Peterson's watching here on Facebook Live, so I'm going to ask him a question. Mark, can I come in and sing a couple of the station lead-in jingles?
Lord
Just
help
give
us.
me
I'm just kidding.
I think I can do it. Oh, my, this is insane. Okay, friends, we're going to get back to things to consider before listing and things you should review with your significant other and ways to get the house ready in anticipation of photographs and video and launching your listing. But I would be remiss to say that since I've been coming on to this show, and today, again, is show number 19. Hey, Jeff. 19. So Frank has endured me for 19 weeks.
Not technically, I haven't.
17 weeks. Okay, he bailed on me a couple weeks. He bailed on me.
Keep it up.
But anyways, the craziest part about this has been we have a couple chairs back here that I sit in, guests sit in, Frank sits in, and they're wooden. And every time I come here, there's been like legs. The side struts have been missing. The legs are wobbly. I have to kind of reconstruct my chair because I got this horrific feeling that I'm on Facebook Live and I'm speaking, all of a sudden I just collapse, which I know that will be viral on the internet, and I don't want that. So,
oh, that'd be everywhere.
I know. But however, I do want to mention Mark Peterson owner, grand poobah of this wonderful Beaver County radio and WBVP and WMBA, all-around good guy, came up with the idea of this show and helped me foster it to present to Frank and get Frank's input before we all started this. He's bought us new chairs.
Well, he bought you new. I got the same chair. I've had a nice comfy chair for a long time.
Friends on Facebook Live. I have a new chair. It's sturdy. It requires me to sit erect and with good posture. I'm happy. This is actually really good stuff here.
We used to have a chair over here that leaned back so that, no, I don't know if you've ever listened to Bob Fry Solid Gold Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I have.
He says, shift into low gear. Well, that seat used to go back like he was really shifting into low gear.
I could see Bob doing that. But, Dave Bishop goes, Johnny Fever of the real estate market. That's right.
There you go.
Hey, that's good. And I think Frank's going to use that. And I'm the Johnny. How did Johnny talk?
He had that cool guy talk.
Oh, I want to go watch a show and try to emulate that.
You could be like, and then, no, wait a minute. That means.
What? What does that mean?
I'm not Les Nessman, so but that means Mark would be Mr. What's his name?
No, we're going to change Mark's role. He's Les Nessman.
Mr. Carl. Yeah. No, Pat Septak. You haven't met Pat.
I met Pat. Okay. Oh, Accordion Pat, right?
Yeah, Accordion Pat. Yeah. That is Les Nessman.
All right. Friends, we'll get back to some additional very good advice that I give to you as a realtor with ReMax Advanced Realty. I am your personal realtor. But what?
Cheese stick.
I look over and Frank sticks a cheese stick in his mouth, and it looks like he's smoking a cigarette or a cigar. But it's a cheese stick. And to make matters worse, he didn't offer me any. So
I only have one.
All right, enough. Yeah, enough. Anyways, no, I definitely don't want half. It was in your mouth. Okay, the point being, ReMax.com has a wonderful pre-listing packet that you can download, and it gives a lot of good food for thought. It's great information to ask your realtor to help you with as you prepare to list your home. Good things to talk about. We've talked about a lot of the heavies here last week, a little bit, and this week. Right now we're talking about organization, pre-packing, clutter, and things like that. We talked about, is your home feel spacious? Need to do that. Just do whatever you can to provide the most spacious feel. Is your home clean from top to bottom? And again, that's challenging, but we need to do that when we're taking the photos and the videos. And when I bring buyers there, we need to have it clean. Pre-pack all items you don't need while selling your house. We talked about that. Buy some plastic container bins. Hopefully you have a spot that you can comfortably and organizationally store. How about that word? Organizationally. That's like a big word, like gymnasium. You can organizationally store your plastic containers in the garage, or if you have a third floor, even if it's crawl space, if there's a subfloor, you can store them up there. Prepackaged seasoned clothes and items, yes. And, of course, it leads into decide where you're going to store these boxes. And we talked about that. Attic, wonderful. Garage, could be wonderful if neat. Other options, please don't store them on your back porch or front porch. Bad decision. No, Frank, bad decision. Contact a friend, a neighbor, a relative. See if you can just borrow a portion of their basement or maybe their attic. That's what friends are for, right? My dad used to have this comment that I used to hear and I used to cringe. He used to say, "What good are friends for if you can't use them?" And I just look at my father and go, "Dad, that's terrible." And he goes, "No. Because Lord knows my father was asked by all his friends for assistance, and my dad's like, hey, if you have a good friend, the back and forth is always good. Let's get the help where we can." The next one is how does your garage look? And I could spend the whole show on this. If you are fortunate enough to have a garage on your property, Frank's laughing. If you're fortunate enough to have a garage on your property, I can't stress to you enough that. And I am stereotyping, and I'm sorry, but I have to. If it's a husband and wife team, or if it's two males, if it's partnership, or whatever it is, the bottom line is the male is going to migrate to the garage. I mean, they're going to they're going to, for courtesy purposes, walk through the rest of the house and give the wife a lot of nods or a lot of shakings of the heads or whatever she says. They're going to agree with for the most part. But once they get out to that garage, that is their domain. So what I'm stating to you is that garage has to be clean. And I mean really clean. You can't just pile all of the things you want to hide in the garage. Bad move. bad move. I've seen it done, bad move. The garage has got to be as clean as possible, like the rest of the house is. You're marketing your entire home, and that garage is part of your home. So you need to consider that's living space. Not technically, okay? You're not going to be like, well, my dad used to throw me out to the garage, let me hang out there when I played my music too loud. But ultimately, there really isn't, if you follow my drift, living space there, but it needs to be tidy and organized. Cannot express that enough. You're going to have one of the two members of the family potentially looking at that space as, hey, I'm going to be hanging out a lot in here. Can I make this garage work for me the way it's laid out? And number one, is it clean? Is it clean?
So let me ask you this then.
Go ahead.
Just as I'm not being a smart aleck, I'm asking seriously.
You're always a smart aleck.
I'm not being. I'm being serious for once.
Okay. Wait. We're being serious.
And then after I ask you this question, you do have a phone call too.
Okay.
So, in my instance, if I put my house on the market, I have don't laugh when I tell you this. I have sheet metal from NASCAR.
I know. You showed me pictures.
No, I'm talking about my garage. My whole garage is lined with sheet metal from NASCAR, like the front end of a race car.
Okay.
Would you suggest that I took stuff like that down, or as long as it was neatly displayed, just leave it there? While I'm showing it, because I'm taking it away.
And I'm sure it's very neatly displayed. You're taking a risk by leaving it there because you're banking on, number one, which we'll talk about right after our phone call, and that is people's inability generally to see through other people's belongings. You might get another NASCAR fan who might lose their stuff when they go in there, and that could help you. But my opinion is that you need to take that stuff down. As painful as it's going to be, you need to take that down and make the garage look, quote-unquote, normal, clutter-free, and clean.
So what would you do with, the holes in the wall where it's at? They're mounted to the wall.
Yeah, I'd fix them.
Just fix them?
I'd fix them,
okay.
Yeah. Whatever method that would be, whatever contractor suggests what you do, I would fix them.
Okay.
Yep.
Ready?
I certainly am.
Go.
Hi, you're on with Eric.
Well, good morning, Mr. Eric.
Hey,
how are you?
How are you?
That's Miss Deborah.
Yeah,
What's
I know
up?
that's Miss Deborah. Good to hear from you.
I think Mr. Frank ought to be ashamed of himself.
I agree.
Why?
Because you're not sharing your cheese stick with him. But then again, I can understand why he's not, because he doesn't want you to talk with your mouth full.
Right.
Oh, wait.
I'm on a diet, too, so.
No, listen to this, okay? Just, Deborah, listen to this.
What?
All right, he's sitting across from me, as he always does, and he ate a cheese stick already, and then he's got something here's the thing. He's got something in a bowl. Oh, he's got Greek yogurt in a bowl, and he's eating it with a spoon.
Apple pie.
Which I'm all for. Healthy living, I'm all for. But did you know that there was not one mention, not one little sliver of an innuendo that he was going to share anything?
I'm paying him back.
Shameful. What kind of a producer are you?
I'm paying him back for all. Think about this. I've been here since 6:30 this morning.
Here we go.
Think about all the weeks that he came and never brought me breakfast.
Also, it works two ways.
So I'm paying
you guys.
him. I'm paying
him.
I'm on a diet now, and I'm paying him back. And I get my meal rations. So I'm eating my meal rations, and I got to stay with it.
You don't have the Saturday morning mechanic one anymore, I noticed.
No.
And you don't want me to give mechanic advice, believe me. You don't want me to.
Well, the thing is, since we're talking, I don't have no real estate question or anything like that. I'm very happy where I live. But two things. I'm not a clutter bug. I don't like clutter. I never did like clutter, so I'm not, I don't care if I get rid of something. I mean, I'm easy to get rid of stuff. You know what I mean? If I don't want it anymore, it's easy for me to get rid of stuff. I don't hang on to things very tightly.
Awesome.
You've heard of the saying, you don't see a U-Haul in the back of a hearse. You know what I mean? I mean, I live that rule probably, but
I like that phrase. I like that phrase. That's a good phrase. I can use that.
You never see a U-Haul in the back of a hearse. But have you ever seen, it's an old program, it's Niecy Nash used to go into people's houses, get rid of the clutter, and then redecorate and reorganize or whatever. I think that was a neat program.
What was it called?
I don't know, but Niecy Nash used to host it. She used to go into the houses of people, and I can't remember what the name of it was. It's back, about 5 years ago.
It's not Hoarders, is it?
No, it's not Hoarders.
How do you spell her name? Do you know?
Say what?
Do you know how to spell her name?
Niecy Nash,
Yeah.
Nash.
Nash. Okay.
Yeah, it was about a couple years back, yeah. But I'll tell you what, you're right, because I helped my mom, clean out her house before she had to sell it. And I'll tell you what, that is a real big job. That is the undertaking. I mean, especially when you have a lot of nice stuff that you hate to part with in that. And
right.
It was just a big, big undertaking. We found stuff we forgot about.
Oh, I know. And it's I will tell you, one of the hardest questions I get asked by my listing clients, and it comes up every third or fourth listing, is I actually get asked this question, and I don't know how to answer it effectively. I'll admit it. Eric, what should we keep and what should we throw away?
Yeah, because it's a personal thing.
Right. I get that a lot, and I about 5 years ago for me, I read a really good book, and it was called "It's All Too Much." And I don't know the name of the author, but boy, what a great eye-opening book for me. Now, I was in the guitar business, and throughout those years in the guitar business, I collected a lot of cool stuff. I had clients that were sending me gifts and photos, and I met a lot of artists as well, and I got gifts in that regard. I was blessed, so blessed. But after I was done with the guitar business, I had to make a decision because I just couldn't house a lot of the things that I was given. So I re-gifted a lot, and then I had to pare down my lifestyle. And it was hard because each one of those was a memento of a great period in my life.
Right.
But this book really helped me. It helped me prioritize, and I would recommend it to anyone out there getting ready to list their home. It's called.
Gosh, if we kept every little thing of our lives,
right.
Man, we wouldn't have enough room
you betcha.
in our
You
anywhere
betcha.
for any of it,
Well, you know what I did, and I don't think this is popular with a lot of people, but I took a lot of the old photographs that I've had, and I've had them all scanned to hard drives, and I've actually discarded photographs. I've taken all my children's. I kept a lot of my children's gifts to me as little cards and homemade trinkets and homework. I kept all that stuff, and I scanned a lot of it, took photos of it, and I now have all that digitally. And yes, there's something to be said about holding it in your hand. It's part of the emotional experience, but it just all became too much for me. And especially after I read this book, and again, it's called It's All Too Much. And I don't know the author, but I would suggest anyone listening, go to the library and get it. It's a really short read, but it helps you prioritize things that you have. And in the end, I could not believe the amount of, for lack of a better phrase, crap that I had tucked away in my home. And a little painful in the beginning to get rid of things, but man, it made my life so much more simplistic, and I'd recommend that to anybody.
Well, all right then. Well, listen, you guys have a wonderful day, and Frank, don't be so hard on Mr. Eric now.
Thank
okay?
you.
Hey, was the name of that show Fixer Upper?
Does it have her name and picture or whatever?
Yeah.
It might have been that. I don't remember if it was on HGTV or another. But she was she's actually a funny lady, but I'll tell you, she really didn't play around.
Yeah, it's on HGTV, and she's on there with another lady, and the other lady that's on it with her is called Two Chicks and that used to be on a show called Two Chicks and a Hammer.
Two Chicks and a Hammer.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, you guys have a good one, and God bless you.
God bless you. Frank is always a plethora for information, isn't he?
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care,
You
Deb.
too.
That's my buddy, Miss Deborah calls.
She's
all the time.
awesome.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She comes out to a lot of remotes and sees us and stuff.
Very cool. I'm glad now that she likes my show enough that she's part of it. That's fantastic. She's actually emailed me a couple of times too.
Cool.
Friends, I know Frank's going to give me the old stink eye because we've got 15 minutes left here.
Time for.
We need a break?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to take this break, and we're going to come back after this break and talk about our last topic of the day before we talk Super Bowl, and that's going to be about basements. So this is Your Personal Realtor with ReMax Advanced Realtor Eric McKenna, and I'll be right back. Hey.
Hey.
I'm back.
You're back, Jack.
That was a quick return there. So I'm going to audition again for this. Ready?
What's that?
I'm going to audition again for this. Ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready?
Go ahead.
WNBA.
That's pretty good.
No, it's not.
I was just trying to be nice.
My wife will laugh at me.
I was just trying to be nice.
Okay, friends. Before we get into some football talk, as always, my son, Austin Major McKenna, produces a question or two for the incredible Sir Frank Sparks, sports-related, before I close my show. We have one today, and you can probably predict the topic of it. But
Pirates baseball.
No, it's not today. I will tell you, the last question, this is good because we're going to complete another section here today.
Okay.
And that is your basement, if your basement is unfinished and used for storage, how does it look? Now, I cannot stress enough that it's okay if your basement's unfinished. There are certain people, believe it or not, looking for homes, especially men that are into man caves and doing their own thing, that actually prefer it that way. Okay? The question, though, I have for you is, it's unfinished. Is it uncluttered? Is it clean? Is it water-free? Is it damp-free? Another important one, which I'm not going to suggest you run out and change this today, but it is open to consideration. If you've got an expansive basement and it's well lit, but your furnace and your water tank, your hot water tank, are sitting in the center of the room, not cool. What I mean by that is, if someone's going to put a man cave in, it behooves them to have that over at the corner of the wall to give as much space as possible. It's okay that it's unfinished. It's okay if you don't have straight beams, meaning you have posts throughout your basement. All that's fine. How is the condition of the floor? How is there any dampness around the edge of the walls? Have you remediated that? Another important one is, which you cannot really control, but something to consider, how high are your ceilings in the basement? Remember, older homes tend to have low ceilings, sometimes dirt floors. Newer homes tend to have higher ceilings. So do not dismiss your basement. Your basement is not a place where you're going to take all of your clutter from the third, second, and first floor and store it in your basement. You might have to if you don't have a garage and you don't have an accessible attic. But if you're going to do that, you got to get those very neat, organized plastic tubs, store them in the corner. Just be organized. I can't stress that enough. I do want to also close with this today, friends, before I tell you a little bit about myself briefly, and then we get into the sports question. Do not assume that buyers can see through properties like you can, or that you fool yourself in believing that you can. And what I mean by that is, do not believe that if you have a sore spot room in your house that needs new carpeting or needs new tile or needs new paint or needs wallpaper taken off, the buyers will be able to, the rest of the house is great. The buyers will be able to see through this room, and, it's only a can of paint. It's only bad carpeting in this room. It's only, an old fixture that doesn't work right, or it's only dirty. Do not assume, again, I'll repeat, do not assume that a potential buyer has the ability to look through the deficiency of that room and take all the other good attributes of your house and still buy your home. If you've got a sore spot in your house and you're not willing to address it, there is a good chance your sale is going to be delayed. You're not going to find the right buyer right away. Do not assume that if you have a very eclectic color in your living room or your dining room or your game room that is unique to you and you love it, but it's not going to appeal to a broad base of people, do not assume they can see through the paint. Many, many buyers make a decision to buy a house based upon the decor, including the paint color that the current owner has used. It sounds crazy. I wouldn't look at a house that way. Don't think Frank would either. But there are buyers out there who do not have the ability or skill set, depending on the mind. The mind's funny, but they don't have the ability to see through bad decor or eclectic decor or unique decor. Sometimes in children's sometimes in children's bedrooms you can get away with unique paint schemes and children's decor because it's expected. But they don't expect that in game rooms. They don't expect it in living, dining room, family rooms, and kitchens, or master bedroom. You may be able to get away with it in the kid's bedroom again, but outside of that, try to neutralize your house from a decor standpoint. Don't depersonalize it completely, okay? Leave some strategic pictures there and all that, but never assume that a buyer has the ability to look through clutter, of course, but to look through unique or what may be out of style decor, paint, paneling, ceiling texture, things like that. Put some thought into it. That maybe that's an area you want to discuss with your realtor, maybe me, and let's work on a plan to get your house looking more generally acceptable to a broader amount of people. Sound good?
Sounds excellent,
Definitely
brother.
important. Okay. Before we get into our talk, as always, friends, I want to stress this is your personal realtor. We are on every Saturday from 10:30 to noon. We are videotaped. It goes on my website at calleric.com in a few hours. It's there for posterity. You can go back and look at prior shows and talk about the subjects we have and the guests we have. Great volumes of information there. I'm very proud of the 18 shows we have, and today's the 19th. Very proud of those videos. We are Facebook Live every week. This show will also immediately be uploaded to Facebook if you don't want to wait for our full video production here. I'm available to work with you, my friends. Beaver County, Allegheny, Butler, and Washington. I work all over. I would love to talk to you about your need to buy or sell, or both, your home. Again, I would love to work with you or give us the opportunity to have a conversation to see if I'm a good fit for you. I use internet marketing very strongly at my cost through Facebook, video, and so forth. These are good ways to engage people who are there, show them your house in detail, especially video, and engage them to call us or indeed have their agent call and show your house and get more people interested in your property. The more interest we have in a targeted fashion, the better chance we get a buyer sooner. It's as simple as that. I'd be glad to discuss my work with you, how I work, what I charge. Trust me, friends, we'll have a fun conversation. And if in the end I'm not for you, that's totally fine too. I'll just be glad to have had the opportunity to meet you. But I think if we sit down, you will see the value of how I work as your realtor, and just give me the opportunity to show that to you. And hopefully we can start off on a good foot and get your house listed, sold properly, or find you that dream house. That's what I do. I am Realtor Eric McKenna with ReMax Advanced Realtors. I work all through Beaver County, all through Allegheny County, Butler, and Washington. Call me today or text me, 412-613-4466. Let me work for you. Let me be your personal realtor. Again, it's Eric McKenna, 412-613-4466. Call or text. I am at your service. Okay, as we do every show, every Your Personal Realtor show, my son, Austin Major McKenna, prepares me for a question online, always hopefully relevant. He's been pretty good so far, wouldn't you say? Spot on for relevancy.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this one's rather easy, I think, because we kind of talked about it a little earlier. But just to clarify, the question is verbatim. Dear Sir Frank, it's getting good at that, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you feel are the 3 major keys if Atlanta wants to beat Brady and Belichick? Also, do you think it's even possible? I personally think it is possible, but they would have to get through the media these 2 weeks and also prepare like no other game.
Well, number one, they have to control the turnovers. That's number one.
Okay.
They've got to. Number 2, they have to dominate Tom Brady the way they dominated Aaron Rodgers.
They did.
From beginning to end. Force the turnovers, take away Julian Edelman, and their defense has to be on top of its game the entire game. And number 3...
Tall order.
Yes. And number 3, Matty Ice needs to be Matty Ice and have ice water through his veins. Julio Jones, because that's how Belichick works.
Take him out of it.
He's going to take him out. But Green Bay tried the same thing. And look what happened. And in my opinion, I think Green Bay has a better set of defensive backs and safeties
no question.
than what
no question.
New England does.
No question.
So So that's my 3 keys. Is I really think, and the number 1 key is I feel that they need to put pressure on Brady and dominate him the way they dominated Rodgers.
They need to blitz. Something Pittsburgh did not do.
But here's the thing: is if you watch the way they did it, they mixed everything. They had them frustrated. You didn't know when they were going to blitz. You didn't know when they were going to drop back in coverage, and you have to play man. You have to play press man on New England because you've seen what happened if you try to play a zone.
No, the zone
number
failed.
1, you're not going to stay in your thing, and number 2, they're going to pass to Julian Edelman all day underneath if you do that.
Zone failed.
Right.
Miserably for Pittsburgh.
Right, exactly. So I mean, they're going to have to play a press man. That's all. You got to hit them from the line of scrimmage, take Edelman out of the game, take Hogan out of the game, and I think the key to Atlanta winning is going to be their defense.
Okay, the last part of his question is: do you think Atlanta can win?
I that's my pick.
Oh, your pick is Atlanta.
Yep.
Wow, how about that, Mage? He's taking Atlanta.
All right, so I got a question for him real quick. We got about a minute and a half. Okay, so I want an answer next week.
You got it.
What year of high school is he going into?
He's a sophomore now. He's going to be a junior next.
Sophomore. Okay, so he's going. Well, this baseball season he'll be a sophomore.
Yes.
What's he looking for out of himself as a pitcher at the high school level this year?
I will get you an answer.
All right.
I will get you an answer. Yeah, that'll be thought provoking.
Yeah.
Because he's just motoring along. He's already in training, but to put down some goals and to sit there and think and reflect a little bit.
I want to know.
You betcha.
I want to know what his goals are because I'm
going
to watch
Mage?
him.
You hear that, Mage? He better start. I know he's listening, so you better start figuring that out. All right. Sir Frank is requesting some details from you on your thoughts of and your goals for this year.
And then he can work on next week's question is going to be, what's his goals for the remainder of his high school career?
Ooh, okay. You're going to give him a little scoop there.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's his work.
Awesome. Friends, it's been unbelievably fun. I can't
40 seconds.
I can't tell you. Again, you're listening to Your Personal Realtor with Agent Eric McKenna with ReMax Advanced Realtors. My office is in Sewickley. Great bunch of people. Friends, and you're out Beaver County, Allegheny, Butler, and Washington. If you're looking to buy a house, you need to give me a call or text me. Looking to sell your house, you need to give me a call or text me. That number is 412-613-4466. 412-613-4466, or simply log on and email me. Detail the whole thing to me. sold@calleric.com. Again, that's sold@calleric.com. Eric's with a C. And finally, this show is sponsored by, that's right, my website, calleric.com. We are here every Saturday, Frank, 10:30 to noon, and we look forward to seeing you again next week on Your Personal Realtor with Eric McKenna. Please have a wonderful week. God bless you all, and be kind to everybody, even your realtor. Be kind.
All right. You're listening to 1230 WBVP, Beaver Falls, Patterson Township, 1460 WNBA, Ambridge, Aliquippa. 12 noon, time for Frontiers and Learning with Chris Shevlin. Followed by Solid Gold Saturday afternoon with the one and only Bob Fry.